Hi, and welcome to this episode of Hashtag Concept. This time we will be visiting a current exhibition titled Hashtag Food Porn. The exhibition showcases a selection of artists who work within the medium of photography and share the same subject matter, our relationship with food in the contemporary condition. This week I will be joined by artist Chloe Smith in the hope that she will shed new light on the art of food photography. Hi Chloe.
Hi.
So, what kind of impression did you first get when you heard about the title of the exhibition?
Well, the hashtag immediately says to me this is going to be quite a modern, contemporary, maybe a bit experimental, youthful.
Yeah, so the subject of food has always played a great part in the history of art, particularly with the 16th century Western paintings and the concept of still life. Now, what I'm wondering is what's kicked off this recent resurgence and what you think about this?
Well, you're definitely right there definitely has been a resurgence in my opinion. I think it's because, you know, our lifestyles today, we're so over-concerned with advertising ourselves, our interests, our food, and I think this is a representation of that. And also it's highlighting things that we don't really ever notice or take care of. You know, elevating the mundane, or supposedly mundane, elevating the Jaffa cake to special status.
Okay, so if you want to go for a little walkies with me, we're just going to have a look at one of the most fantastic paintings.
Okay.
Photographs, sorry. In this gallery. So, we have a really great digital composition here of the four elements. I really like the way that they join together. Now, what do you think about this, Chloe Smith?
There's that beautiful painting. The name doesn't spring to mind, but that Surat painting in there, all on the river, and it's a really nice piece using pointillism, and I think this too is a very modern take on pointillism. You know.
Pointillism.
Those points, those dots and spots.
Yes.
Everywhere. And also, it's really nice because that's such a Western thing, and this is quite Eastern, so this is a real nice piece of fusion.
Oh yes, and if you don't mind me saying, when Eastern cultures meet Western values, you know, this merge really does sell. Shall we move on to the next photograph, Miss Smith? Now, Miss Smith, this photograph has caused quite a bit of controversy in the art world. How do you feel about this particular photograph?
This piece really grinds my gears.
Grinds your...
My gears. It's too crude, too vulgar. It's definitely done by a male photographer, don't you think? As a representation of the male appetite, you know, with this massive food, male dominance, this muscle magazine, which is slyly placed in the corner, which contrasts quite nicely with the femininity of this plate, which I think is actually quite Greek in its swirls. The white sauce, which is also quite suggestive.
And how do you feel about the fact that he's eating it with a fork?
Oh, where's the knife?
Indeed.
I think Emmeline Pankhurst would be turning in her grave at this piece, and it makes me think of that great Jermaine Greer quote, basically society is basically homosexual because all the men care about are the other men, and I think this is what it says.
I think perhaps the next work is my favourite in the exhibition. Now, it seems to me that there's a really suggestive message going on here. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about it.
Suggestive, really? Personally, I really enjoy this piece because I think it really elevates the mundane, you know, the segments of orange and Jaffa cakes. I think this is quite strategic in how they've composed the actual image, the plate on the floor, the individual pieces around. They've made something quite ordinary very spectacular. It makes me think of this wonderful quote, the art enchants the ordinary and makes it special. And I think that this epitomises that quote.
If you don't mind me saying that is quite beautiful. Where did you hear that quote?
Well, it's originally a Judy Atwood quote, but it was a favourite of my mother's, and she had it pinned up on her wall, and I used to stare at it every morning.
Charming. So, Chloe Smith, what are your thoughts on this next piece?
Oh, I love this piece. So organic, all the earthy tones and colours and circles, lots and lots and lots of circles. I love that this particular piece, out of all of them, has such a positive message to portray. I feel that's really nice. And just circles.
What are the circles saying to you, Chloe Smith?
Well, circles speak of life, and I'm loving the variety in circles here. You know, we all come in different shapes and circles, and oh, it's so positive.
When I see this photograph, Chloe Smith, I see a stray raspberry in the bottom right corner of the frame. What is it doing there, and what does it say to you, Chloe Smith?
Well, not everyone fits, do they? There's always the odd one out, and that raspberry's the odd one out.
There's another fascinating little number over here, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on that before we head off. So that's all.
Yes, well, right here is definitely a reference to Michelangelo's creation of Adam, that big fresco, you know, where God pointing to Adam. I think it's a symbol or representation of how, like we depend on God, supposedly, we depend on food. Both are givers of life, and I think that's a really nice message.
Yes, I do think it's quite interesting how he wants you to know that he's not taking coffee alone.
That's another interesting point, and also again leads back to God, because you know, God is ever present and we're never alone. But also I think it's quite telling of modern culture, how we're seemingly obsessed with what message we portray to other people, and he definitely doesn't want you to think he's alone. You know, he's got friends.
Well, thank you, Chloe Smith, for taking the time to join us today. It's been fascinating.
No problem.
Thank you at home for joining us on this little journey. This has been #Concept.